I'm Zach Dykes, and my video is going to be on how to do a bearcat. Now, a bearcat is a very complex lift that has many multiple lifts. So today I'm going to show you how to prepare to do a bearcat with stretching, all the individual lifts that are included in a bearcat, and then one final bearcat that is like in regular speed motion, so I can show you what it's supposed to look like. So first we're going to start out with stretching. Stretching is important so you don't injure yourself when you're trying to lift, and since the bearcat is mostly legs, that's what we're going to focus on. So you want to start with just touching your toes, and you want to go cross over your right foot over your left foot, and your left foot over your right foot. Next we're going to sit on the ground. First, we're going to cross our right foot over our left leg once again. And you want to take your left arm and put it over your right leg. And then when you pull on your right leg like this, it'll work your hamstring down in this area. Do that for the other leg. We're also going to do butterflies. That works your quads and your groin. Finally, we're going to lay back, and we're just going to pull our right leg up to our chest like this, and then the left leg. And then if you can, to make sure everything in your legs is stretched down, you're going to want to just try to squat down as far as you can. Just like this. So you keep your weight on your heels doing this to make sure everything gets a good stretch. Now we're ready to do the bearcat. Like I said before, the bearcat has multiple other lifts inside of it. So first of all, I'm going to show you all the individual lifts one by one. The first lift in a bearcat is called the deadlift. You're going to want to start with your hands about shoulder width apart, just like this. You're going to start with the bar on the ground. And you want to bend only your knees so that they don't go over your toes when you squat down like this with your weight on your heels. And then you just want to lift straight up. The most important thing to remember when doing a deadlift is to keep your butt down so you don't do this. This is a bad example of a deadlift. Notice how I use mostly my back to lift the weight, not my legs. So once you've completed the deadlift and the bearcat, the next lift is the shrug. So you hold the bar like this, and you just bring your shoulders up and back down. That's it for the shrug. Now we go back down to the ground. The next lift in the bearcat is the snatch. So you want to hold the bar a little bit wider with your hands on the bands that are on the bar right here. You want to have your pinkies over those. This if you start with the bar on the ground. Start with your legs and back in the same position as the deadlift. And then for this one, you come up, and then you flip the bar and finish with the bar over your head. I'll show you snatching normal speed now. Once you've completed the snatch and you have the bar over your head, the next lift is going to be an overhead squat. So you stand like this, you bring your knee, you squat down to your knees, get about to 90 degrees. That's all for an overhead squat. You want to make sure you keep the weight on your heels while you do that. And before we go back to the ground, the third lift in the snatch series is the push press. So you're going to put your hands into about shoulder width again, and you just push the bar up, and then bring it back down, and that's the push press. Now for the next lift, we'll go back to the ground. You want to start again in deadlift position with your hands at shoulder width apart. And this next lift is called the power clean. So you're gonna come up and you flip the bar like this and you finish like this. The most important things to remember when doing the power clean is to make sure you have your elbows high like this when you finish, not like this. Just make sure you have good form during the second part of the lift. The most important thing to remember when doing your power clean is to make sure you do a kind of a power hop when you try to catch the bar. So as you come up, right here is when you do it. So you hop, and that gives you time to flip the bar and then finish with your elbows high. So now I'll show you a power clean at full speed. Let's say you do a power clean. For the next lift, it will be a front squat, which just means the bar is in front of you. You want to have your feet shoulder width apart, and you just want to bend them down to 90 with the weight on your heels. Let's say you do a front squat. Then finally, the last lift is another push press, just like the one we did before. Just push the bar up, and then back down. That's all the lifts in the bearcat. To review, it was deadlift, shrug, snatch, overhead squat, push press, power clean, front squat, and then another push press. So now I'll show you a bearcat at full speed. That was the deadlift and shrug. Now the snatch, overhead squat, push press, power clean, front squat, and then another push press. That's how you do a bearcat. Since the bearcat is such a long lift, it's important to use very low weight. This is 65 pounds, which would be about right for most people. When you do bearcat, you want to do 8 of the entire thing 3 times, so in total 24 reps to get a good workout. Thank you. This is How to Do a Bearcat by Zach Dykes.